Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God. Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. It's whom you serve. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. No one. That doesn't mean that you don't have to deal with your consequences, good or bad. None of us get away from that. None of us. But, if you love yourself, if nobody else loves you, if you love yourself, you'll be okay. And never give up on yourself. Never. Never give up on yourself. If you lost everything you have, if you have yourself, you have everything. You can always rebuild. You don't have to be perfect. No one is. For those of you just tuning in, I focus out of three major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist text called The Shape of Suffering. And it deals with dependent core rising. Without no this, there's no that. And everything we say and do has an effect on our senses. I try to rotate the text at least twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how I'm led to meditate. Anyway, we're back in the rotation for the Bible, so I'm gonna pick it up at Mark chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 26. I don't know how far I'm going to get because this is a long chapter. But I'm going to start at 26. Mark chapter 6, verse 26. I'll tell you when I end, what verse I end on. And the king was exceedingly sorry, yet for his oath's sake and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not reject her. Immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought, and he went and beheaded him in the prison. So what happened before that was, one of the kings, you have to go back, Herodias or Herod or whatever, Herod. Anyway, he had a girl came to dance anyway. The girl pleased him so well. He said, well, what you want, I'll give you anything. And so the girl, before she gave him the answer, went to her mom. And her mom had a beef with John or whatever. Or they had something was going on. Anyway, she said she wanted the head of John the Baptist. So because he didn't want to go back on his word, that's what happened. And he brought his head in a charger and gave it to the damsel. And the damsel gave it to her mother. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took up his corpse and laid it in the tomb. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus and told him all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. These people are just, why do people always sacrifice God's people? They always do that unjustly. And then they just go on their merry way about life, like nothing, like, oh well. It's a madness. It's a sickness. Because people don't want to hear about their own wretched behaviors. We all have wretched behaviors sometimes, They don't give you the right to just kill somebody because they're talking to you about it. And he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. And a lot of times people want to sacrifice you for the stuff they doing. It don't even have nothing. The person they take out don't have nothing to do with any of it. It's because they're wicked. You think that hurting somebody else because you ain't no good is gonna do, what's that gonna do for you? Bad guys and bullies. You're wicked, so let's kill some other people because I'm no good. And they departed into the desert place by ship privately. And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all cities. And out went them, and came together unto him. So they knew Jesus was going, and the disciples and the followers or whoever was going to go to on a boat. And anyway, they was going somewhere else, but the people knew, so they met him by land. They got there before they got there. And Jesus, when he came out, saw much people and was moved with compassion toward them because they were a sheep not having a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. That moved Christ. Wouldn't that move you? You moving on land to go somewhere, and to people that because they love you so much, they follow you from wherever they was at all the way to on land to follow you wherever you at, where you going. And when the day was not far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, "This is a desert place, and now the time is far past." Where is the desert at over there? Where? I'm just saying. Send them away that they may go into the country round about and into villages and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. He answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat. And he saw unto him, Shall we go and buy 200 pennyworth of bread and give them to eat? He said unto them, How many loaves have ye? Go and see. And when they knew, they said, 5 and 2 fishes. And he commanded them to make all sit down by companies upon the green grass. And he sat down in ranks by hundreds and by 50s. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven and blessed and brake the loaves and gave them to his disciples to set before them. And the 2 fishes divided he among them all. Now let's just keep on going. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of fragments and the fishes. So he started off with little and he ended up with a lot. So I'm going to end it right there for now. That's enough for right now. So I ended it on 43. So I'll pick it back up later in the week.